How about now? Yes. I think we're live. I'm gonna try to figure this out every single time. I don't know. There's no like clear big red light on top of the camera that says we're live, which would be great. I wish we had that. That would be pretty nice, actually. Also on my list of demands, if anybody's listening, I would like a producer or director to stand right there and give me the old 5, 4, every time we're getting ready to go live here, because I have to do all this myself. Life is really hard. I mean, I don't need to tell anybody else who's under quarantine and Corona is out there. It's tough times, but that's why we're doing this. This is Quarantine Cooking. I'm your host, Anthony Ladon, aka Pink Shirt Guy, for those of you who know me from Epicurious fame. I say fame in quotes just because it really is fame. Okay, so today we have a pretty darn good show lined up for you. In my opinion, they're all great. What makes this one extra special is that I'm not making a cocktail this time. I'm just opening up a bottle and pouring some wine. Senor Steven, life is pretty hard. It is. Whew. I have to do this every day. I don't have a choice, and that's difficult. I gotta wake up. I gotta figure out what is there to cook, because I gotta eat, and I'm hungry, and then I have to go do that. So it is. But being dramatic is fun. Yes, it is. Okay. So good show lined up. We have. We're gonna keep it simple today. I'm not gonna ramble for too long, for 2 hours like I did the other night. Thank you for the 2 people who stuck with me the entire time. I think it was just somebody who'd left their computer running on YouTube and their cat was just entertained the entire time. So you're welcome, kitty cat, for the entertainment for that evening. Okay, you guys want a drink? The answer is yes. Glad to hear it. Okay, so in lieu of a cocktail tonight, we're just going with wine. I wanted to keep this one pretty straightforward, pretty simple, in my opinion, simple. So yeah, let's do it. So the wine we're going to be serving tonight is a Gavi. It's Gavi, G-A-V-I. It's an Italian white wine. And it's pretty good. It's one of my favorites here in Chez Ladon, Chez Pink. Is that weird? No, let's just go with it. Oh, you know what? I already have it ready. Look at that. I didn't even have to go digging for it. It was just right here waiting for me. Sorry to hear you're sick, Samantha Nunez. It's a bummer. Hope you feel better soon. Hopefully it's not the coronavirus, but we'll just say it's not. I guess you're self-quarantining anyway, so even if you did have it, we can't catch it. So I don't care. Chic Geek, yes, it is nice and bright outside. It's 5 p.m. here in New York, just after, and it's actually a pretty lovely day. It looks like there's some overcast, a little bit of clouds coming in north of the city, but I'm okay. I can't complain. Except I did complain a few minutes ago about how difficult life was, and I'm going to second that. I'm going to second my own opinion and just say, again, it was quite difficult. It is quite difficult. Okay. All right, so today we're doing Gavi. Gavi wine is from the Piedmont region of Italy. It's pretty good. It's actually one of my favorites. It's a nice alternative to Chardonnay, which is super popular here in Chez Ladon. But I like Gavi. Because it's a little bit lighter bodied. Like it's not, Chardonnay's kind of a medium to heavy body sometimes, but Gavi's kind of nice. It's zesty. It tastes of lemon. Oh, that's pretty good. Honeydew. And am I getting almonds on the finish? I think I am. I'd like to thank Patty Ladon. I'm her son. She's my stepmother. She's got a great blog and a great Instagram. If you check her out, it's Wine Travel. Just one word, Wine Travel. She gave me the wine recommendation and the tasting notes. Yeah, it's a dry white. It tastes very light-bodied. And I think I'm detecting some medium acidity, which will go great with our main dish today, which is an Atlantic salmon with a salad. So we're going a little bit light, but it is kind of heavy. I'll explain. This would be a great time to do like one of those, it's light, but it's heavy, but it's light. Let me explain after this. And then we cut to like the intro to like, it's pink shirt guy, you know, I don't know. Just me. Basically, we need an intro for this thing, but we don't have it. All right. Put the cork in and pour. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, good advice. Yeah, you guys got it covered. Okay. Ben Chai, loving the Alsace. I agree. Alsace is a great like region. Actually, Wine Travel, the gal who gave me this recommendation, my stepmom, she and my dad were in the Alsace region. I think just a few years ago. Last year, 2 years ago, before the Rona came. That's all I know, because they haven't caught it yet. Okay. Oh, that's great. Gavi, seriously, is really good. If you don't, the other thing, look for Gavi. It's spelled G-A-V-I. You can also find like the non-DOC version. I think it's called like Cortese di Cortese or something like that. I've got one of those in the fridge too, but it's usually just a little bit cheaper. Your quality might vary a little bit more. From what I understand of the DOC and the DOCG, like how they make wine in Italy and the rating system, the DOC is basically good or great, and then the DOCG is even better. Again, that's very limited understanding. Go follow Wine Travel on Instagram. 2 words, just one put together, Wine Travel. She gave me the rec for this and the tasting notes. Super good. Okay, what do we got? We got our wine. Let's get going. Okay, so like I said, the dish today is Atlantic salmon, not Pacific salmon. So Atlantic salmon is going to be much fattier, but since moving to the East Coast, I actually kind of prefer Atlantic salmon on like a day-to-day basis. Actually, no, I can't say that because the Pacific salmon is pretty darn good too. Atlantic salmon is nice. It's just a little bit fattier, so it's like richer. This wine is going to go perfectly with it because it's a little bit zestier, and it'll help perk it up a little bit. But West Coast wine is good too. But West Coast salmon is what I grew up with, and that's much more concentrated salmon flavor. So this is just a little bit different. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out of the fridge now, just to warm up for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, I'm gonna set this right over here. Boop. Okay. We're gonna be serving just a house salad with a vinaigrette with this dish. So I've got my greens ready. First things first, let's make our vinaigrette. So you can look online, there's a whole bunch of different recipes. I'll post them here afterwards. But I know Thomas Keller uses a 6-to-1 ratio for his vinaigrettes. I've seen others where the numbers vary a lot. I'm gonna try something a little bit different here. I'm gonna do a 2-1-1, which basically means, okay, here, let's get this set up. Let's go right to left. Okay, so Thomas Keller, great chef, does 6-to-1, at least in his Bouchon cookbook, it's a fantastic cookbook, but this recipe is also very good. Last time I was in France, in Paris, I had a vinaigrette and it was very heavy on the Dijon and I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. So we're gonna try something closer to that and also cut back on the oil just a little tiny bit so that this flavor comes through a lot more. Cool? Hopefully cool. And worst case, if it totally sucks, then we'll just add a little bit more oil and we'll go from there, all right? So I don't have any measuring cups or measuring spoons. I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it a little bit and kind of use this as my fake measuring cup. Usually I go by weight, but I actually haven't made this recipe by weight on a scale before. So we're just gonna kind of eyeball it. That's the nice thing about this recipe too. You don't have to go, it doesn't have to be too specific. Well, that's great. It was just happy to see us. I don't know if you can tell it. Already worked. Okay. Okay, we're doing, what did I say, 2-1-1? So let's get about half of this thing full of Dijon. I'm just scared this is gonna go everywhere. Okay, that's about half full, and I'm running out of that, so we'll call that good. Let's get every last... Sorry about the noise. Okay, good. Close enough. 2, 1, 1. All right, so let's get one of these in there. Again, we're going about half of this little prep tin thing. Yeah, it looks about right. I guess we're gonna need this still. All right, and let's go a whole one of these. Now, before we dump this whole thing in, I'm gonna start whisking. All right, I'm just gonna mix up the 2 ingredients that are in there so far, and then we're gonna add the oil slowly. The goal here is to create an emulsion. Basically, we want this all mixed together evenly, and we want all of the liquid suspended evenly in there. So it's got really like a homogeneous mixture. As you probably already know, oil, vinegar don't love each other, but we bring the counseling of mustard to the table to have them settle their differences. It brings them together, tight relationship. So let's go from there. All right, so that's mixed in. And we'll just start drizzling a little bit at a time. Again, the goal here is just to keep a slow drizzle. We want to create an emulsion. And if we added it all at once, it'd be tough because we'd have big, huge chunks of that oil floating around. And it'd be tougher to get it all together. Ravik, I just saw your question. We didn't make a cocktail this time. We actually did wine. So we're doing Gavi, G-A-V-I. It's an Italian white from the Piedmont region. Very good. It'll stand up to the salmon that we've got going, but it'll also provide a little bit of kind of zest and acid to help fight some of the heavier, because the salmon that we're using is Atlantic salmon. It's a little bit fattier, so it'll help clear the palate, basically. I'm talking like I know what I'm talking about, but I don't really that much. Okay, that's pretty good. Go with, let's put a little salt in there, and then we'll taste test. Yeah, Ben, I agree with you. Immersion blender would make this a lot easier. I kind of wanted to go old school. Plus, I didn't want to have a whole bunch of noise here. I don't have a lav mic yet for this setup, but eventually, immersion blender, yes, definitely the way to go. That's pretty good. It's a little tangy, I think. So I'm gonna actually add just a little bit more mustard and then maybe a little bit more oil because I really want that mustard flavor coming through. Like I said, it's not a regular vinaigrette. I want this to kind of be a mustardy vinaigrette. So I'm just gonna, okay. Oh no, I might be out. Thanks, Corona. Perfect. Okay, a little bit more. That'll do it. Yeah, Robin, we got a bunch of mustard in there, but the ratios, we were trying something new today, and I think it's just a little bit too much vinegar for me. I like enough acid in there, especially when we put it on the lettuce, because we'll lose some of this flavor because it'll be diluted by the greens, but I don't want it to be super acidic. And it needs a little more salt. Okay, pretty good. I'll add a little bit more of this. Should we risk it? Let's just see how this works. Okay, that's not bad. Let's taste it. See how we're doing here. Well, that's pretty darn good. Okay, I don't remember what the ratios were. It wasn't quite 2-1-1. It was probably closer to 2.5. 1.5. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'll go through the replaying. Okay, step 1, done. Next, let's cook our salmon. So we're going with a super simple cooking method today on the salmon. We are just gonna we're just cooking one side. We might kiss the other side a little bit depending on how evenly it cooks, but we're just gonna cook it from one side. This is a super simple recipe. I do this all the time at home and I love it. More importantly, my wife loves it. Okay. A little bit of vegetable oil. What do we got? Canola? Yeah, canola. Close enough. We don't need much. I just want to make sure there's a good contact between the pan. Can you see that okay? Is that easier? Too bright? This is great. I can fix all the lighting myself. I love it. It's tough times. This is Corona times. I'm a one-man shop here. My Pomeranian puppy is doing absolutely nothing to help, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, I see you over there. You're not getting any of this. Okay. What's up, Becca? Good to see you back. Yeah, I agree with you. Ben, is that what I ended up using? Was the ratios you put in there? Simon, yes, I use canola oil for this. I've done it with olive oil. It's just fine. Actually for both. For both the vinaigrette and the salmon, I've used both olive oil and canola oil. And it doesn't make a difference here. It does make a difference in the vinaigrette. With the olive oil, you will taste a lot more of the olive oil flavor. So if you're going for that, that's fine. Just be aware that it'll be present. However, if you want kind of a more neutral, like vinegar mustard flavor in the vinaigrette, canola oil or vegetable oil is your way to go. You could probably also do, some fun oils like almond oil or avocado oil if you want to be like super fancy. Who knows in these end of days type scenarios what we're going to be able to find. We might be squeezing oil from nuts off of trees or something. I don't even know. You could use motor oil for all I care. Maybe that would work. If someone could comment if they've used motor oil, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, we're using canola oil for both the vinaigrette and the salmon. Okay, so, you know what? The one thing I forgot to do is make sure there's no big pin bones in here. So, handy dandy tweezers. I usually use these for my eyebrows, but today we're gonna use them for the salmon. Sorry about the sirens in the background. I have a window open to get fresh air in here. And even despite the fact that nobody should be out and about on the streets of Manhattan, we apparently have sirens going off. So, I mean, they are welcome to be on the streets of Manhattan, but there should be people. Okay. I know, evacuate. Who's got the Rona? Okay. So to remove pin bones from salmon, I'm just gonna go along here and feel along the thickest part where we've got thick bones. So, yes, we've got this. Okay. Basically, feel wherever you feel like a little stabby do, pull this out. Stabby. All right. So here, watch. Feel a little stabber. Up. Grabbing it. Up. This can be. Oh man. There we go. That's the money. All right. So we need to remove these because these are not fun to chew on. Ask me how I know. All right. The goal here too, we don't want to mess up the flesh too much either. So be if you can, be as surgical as you can be, just to try to remove them. You can press down a little bit on the flesh just gently to expose the pin bone, because if you push down on the flesh, the bone will kind of pop up like that, and then you can nab it and yank. Yes. Good. Almost there. In case anybody's curious, yes, I do have paper towels under. Actually, I'll get to that in a second. Let me just make sure the bones are all out. Boning Biggie, Biggie. Okay. Yes. Becca, I'm so happy to see you again. How is Houston? Oh yeah, they did forget Avalikio. They did forget to notify New Yorkers that we shouldn't be doing crime. You're right. Most of us took off the street, got off the streets, but I don't know if the criminals watch the news, So I hope they are. If any of you are criminals, just pause your criminal activity for a little bit, if you wouldn't mind. Let this just ride it out. Okay, I think I've got most of these bones. I just don't want to sit here the entire time and do this. But got most of them, got a little stack, all good. In case you're curious, whenever I get fish, I immediately unwrap it and I set up like a baking sheet with ice in it and put a little plastic wrap over that, paper towel, skin side down fish. This makes sure it keeps it super chilly in the fridge, because the fridge is not quite cold enough. Like in case I don't get to the fish that day, I got this morning, but in case I don't eat it that day, I want to make sure nothing happens, because it's so hard to get fresh seafood, at least in New York. I know this sounds weird, we're on the coast, but it's difficult. Like a lot of times this stuff kind of smells a little bit fishy, and I think seafood should never smell fishy, and this doesn't. This is great. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. We'll be right back. This would be another great commercial opportunity. If anybody's interested in investing in somebody who doesn't quite have Corona yet doing a cooking show, I'd welcome it. That's about 20 seconds, right? Time actually speeds up on the internet. So what looked like 5 to 10 seconds was actually 3 minutes of me washing my hands. Okay, good. The reason I put the paper towels, by the way, is just to help dry the skin out. The drier the skin is, the crispier it'll end up when we're done cooking this. Okay? All right, let me check out, see if there's any questions here. Yes, JC, you got it, you guessed it. It is to dry the skin to crisp it. Becca, kids are having a house party. That sounds like fun. Craig, you know what? That's criminal activity I could support. Bring them on in. Ooh, yeah, prom canceled, grad formals, that's rough. Sing happy birthday twice. I thought it was just once. How fast are you singing happy birthday? God. Okay, counted. It was at least 30. Thank you, Simon. Appreciate it. Okay, so I've got the oil all heated up. It's over medium-low-ish. We'll adjust the heat as necessary. But, oh, you know what? Now I have to wash my hands again. This is really great. Totally forgot. By the way, this is a center cut of the Atlantic salmon. I love it because, well, number one, my wife was nice enough to specify in our delivery the center cut because it's from more like the center of the fish. But then you don't get as thin of a flap down here because when we're going to be cooking this is going to cook way faster than this part. And sometimes if you get one of the end cuts, then you just get like this little tiny piece of flesh here. If that happens to you, don't worry, it's okay. What you can do is just cut it off here and then dice up the salmon flesh and make salmon tartare. So not bad. All right, I'm gonna turn this over. Oh, now I gotta wash my hands before I go into the salt. Oh, I didn't think of that part through. Thanks, Corona. One, 2, 25, 27, 29, 30. Good.
Want me to help?
No, it's fine. My lovely assistant / wife volunteered to salt the flesh or the skin for me. Let's all give her a round of applause and thank her for helping. So. What's that? No. All good. Do you want any wine or anything? Or a cocktail? Okay.
I'll holler. You'll hear me.
Okay. Guys, the lovely Miss Lauren Lane is in the room. If you love books, buy a Lauren Lane book, Layne. They are all fantastic. I've read all 37 of them. 36? 36, she's out of earshot now. 36 or 37 books. I lost count, but they're all actually really fantastic. I'm very proud of her. Okay, this is good. We've got medium low. I'm gonna have to wash my hands for a third time. Does anybody know how to make lotion at home? Because you can make your own hand sanitizer, that's fine, but the lotion part is gonna be hard. Okay. And we are going to, we're just gonna press down on these a little bit until the skin, that's hot. Until the skin kind of sets, because what'll happen is it'll contract up and it'll get super tight, but then part of it gets really thick. And we don't necessarily want that. I don't know if you could see the salmon there kind of clenching up. Yeah, Bill, I know I don't have to worry about the fish being infected, but I just didn't want to get, fishiness all over everything. Now I got to get the oil off and the fish. And this little bone that's starting to stick out here. Gotcha! Okay. Corona prevention plan is on point today. Okay. Don't want to make a mess. I'm seeing oil shooting all over the place. That happens occasionally. If you want, you can actually use a larger pan for this. I have used my Dutch oven, the one of March 17th fame and March 16th fame. You can use a larger Dutch oven with taller walls. It'll help the oil or prevent the oil from shooting all over the place. But then you guys can't see the glory of these salmon fillets cooking, and I think this is pretty sweet. See, it's shooting all over, making a mess. Gosh darn it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was an empty thing of mustard I put back in the fridge, but that's okay. Pink Shirt Gang, you're back. Iro, AV, welcome. Easy, buddy. Okay, you know what I actually might do? It's non-stick, so I might actually take some of this oil out of there, which would mean that whatever moisture is coming out of the fish won't pop as much. I've got enough in there where I'm not too worried about it. Actually, you know what? Even better. I'll just do that. Yes, Bill, splatter screens. Great idea. That's what we're gonna do here. Though, I have had splatter screens where it shoots right through. I don't know if it's a personal problem, but sometimes you can't hold it back. Ricardo is asking what my favorite type of fish is. Is it salmon? Also, do I like black caviar? So, favorite kind of fish? Oh, you know what? If I can find it, and it costs an arm and a leg, but Chilean sea bass is pretty good. That might be my favorite. Although the other day, actually it was about a month ago, I cooked a whole bronzino crusted in salt, and that was probably the best fish that I've ever made. So maybe that's my favorite. I know this is a terrible answer. Let's go with Chilean sea bass, my favorite. Also, do I like black caviar? I love caviar. I never buy it because it seems like, I don't know if I like it for the cost. I don't know about black caviar. I don't know where that falls in, the spectrum. But like when I have had little bites of it, it's incredible. But I never do it. So. Okay, I know this is making a lot of noise. It's popping and sizzling, mostly because I'm trapping all the steam in there and the water's coming right back down. Thoughts on John Dory? So, I like John Dory. I've had it a few times in restaurants, but I don't know if I've had it like enough times to have a real strong opinion on it. I like it and I'll get it. You know what I mean? But it's like, it's great. It's good. I'll have to clean this all up later. That's fine. We're just gonna go down all the different fish. Okay, all the different fishes. Cod, big fan. If it's like fish and chips, cod is a good option, I think. Red snapper, yeah. Red snapper. Like when I was growing up, we used to go fishing for we fished for salmon in the Pacific Northwest, and then like rockfish were also real big up there. I think that's what they're called. Like they almost looked like red snapper. I don't know if they were, but you know they were about yay big, and they'd be among the rocks and stuff, and they were good. It was like so fresh. It was whatever was right there. So okay, so this is getting going here. The goal here is we're only gonna cook this from one side, just the bottom up. I've actually reduced the heat to low. I want the top to just be a little bit rare. I'm okay with that, because this is very fresh fish. We'll get a nice like gradient of texture, which is also kind of fun, when you'll get crispy skin on the bottom, and then just a little strip of raw salmon on top. It's awesome. That way when you cut in too, it's almost like this rainbow of pink. I really want special effects. Wouldn't that be cool to have like a rainbow of pink going across the screen? Okay. Oh, halibut? Yeah, Lauren Lane author. Love halibut. We used to have that all the time growing up. It's such a good fish. Oh, and my family also used to cook swordfish. That was pretty tasty. I remember being very happy on a fishing trip once and actually catching. Never mind, I can't remember what we were fishing for. This is a terrible fishing story. I was with my brother and a couple of Russians. We just drank vodka and fished. I don't remember what we were going for. You like mackerel? Okay, Robin, good. Great. Yeah, so like a lot of those white fish and a lot of the stronger white fish, just pan fried in like in butter is super good. I'll even do like a tilapia that way, with just like I'll do butter, tilapia, we'll sprinkle some capers, some parsley on there, a little squeeze of lemon maybe, and you're done. And you can kind of baste it a little bit. That's a great way to go. Takeshi Zero, hope you feel better, dude, or gal. I don't know what you are, but yeah, I hope you feel better. Thanks for stopping by. We're so glad to have you. All right, can you see, let me make sure, can you see this here? What if I do that? No, that's harder. Okay, so you're kind of, let me move this stuff around. I'll scoot it back, maybe you can see it a little bit better. Okay, so we'll do, no, that's even worse. Okay, so you can kind of tell like it's starting to cook up from the bottom up. That's what we're going for. It'll be done when it's about, when like the doneness is a little bit over halfway. That's kind of what we're going for. I know some of it got a little bit steamed when I put the lid on. That's just a sacrifice I made for you people, so you didn't have to listen to all the popping that was going on in here. The things I do for you, you know? Just, it's a thankless job. Okay. Chilean sea bass was Patagonia toothfish. Good to know. JC, will I put the salmon in the oven? You could. This would be a good point to do that. Go low and slow and kind of finish it up there. I'm not going to, because I want that skin to be really crispy. And I'm intentionally going for a little bit of rare on top. Now, it won't be 100% rare because I put the lid on to prevent the splatter, and it steamed it just a tiny bit, but it'll be pretty close. So no, I'm not going to be putting this in the oven. But if you didn't want rare on top, you could. It's up to you. Becca, I know, a little GoPro just top down here would be sweet. You can see maybe like if I lean too far in, get a little chest hair action, you know, to up the sizzle factor on this channel. Is the cabinet open? Oh yeah. Thanks, Geek. I'd be running around and trip right over that. Okay, we're almost done here. I'm gonna warm it up just a little bit. That's the thing, this dinner is gonna be super easy. It's gonna be great. Yeah, leave it open. You mean leave this button open, Ben? No. Okay, almost there. Oh yeah, Ravik, thanks for the reminder. You're always on top of this. Now's the time to like, subscribe, comment, whatever you want to do. I appreciate it. Like, it's nice to see how many likes. I mean, I know it's very superficial, like it's just a number, but on this side of the camera, it's always cool knowing like, oh, these people, you guys actually enjoy this. So, I mean, if you don't enjoy it, like it anyway. But yeah, thanks for the reminder. I appreciate that. So yeah, if you hit like, that's great. Oh, tomato, paprika fish stew. Isn't that... And smoked carp. Oh, okay. Is that kind of like air horn? Was that more like a bouillabaisse? Like, was it soup and a bunch of stuff, or was it just smoked carp and tomatoes, paprika? Sounds pretty good either way. Okay, we're getting there. You can, so normally this would take maybe 10 minutes tops. I'm turning the heat down a little bit, which you can do as well. It prevents more splatter, and it cooks it a little more evenly, but you know, if you want to speed this up, you can turn it up if you want. That's fine. You don't need to move the pan around. I do that kind of just to see what it looks like. You don't have to do that. JC, so good question. How do I use fish that's a little bit smelly? So the first thing I'll try, if this fish does smell a little bit smelly, I'll rinse it off in the sink, because sometimes it might just be like a film of, I think, it's just a film of bacteria emitting whatever that smell is. And if I rinse it off and pat it dry with like a paper towel, and if it doesn't smell after that, good to go, I'll use it. If it still smells, man, I have a real tough time with that, because what happens is, I've done this before, I'll cook it, then that nasty fish smell gets everywhere else in the house. And I have a tiny apartment, so it gets everywhere on everything. It's just gross. So I'll end up throwing it out. I know that's terrible, but you know, I usually end up complaining to whatever delivery service brought it or the grocery store, and yeah, that's how it works. But lately, I've had really good luck. Haven't had any sort of smelly fish whatsoever. It's been perfect. Oh, okay, Ravik. Yeah, thanks for the help. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. Everybody, if you're enjoying this, even if you're not enjoying it, I would encourage you to just maybe take a leap of faith and hit that like button and just see how it feels. It might feel pretty good. And subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. We're going to be doing these daily while we're under quarantine, and maybe even after that. I don't know. If there is an after that, this might be the last day on Earth. In which case, we're going to be eating pretty good and drinking pretty well as well. Okay. Getting there. You know what? The other thing too, we can actually flip these over just briefly and kind of kiss the top. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and start plating the salad. Okay, since I've already washed my hands like 30 times to prevent the Rona from getting over everything or getting on everything, I don't need to wash them again before I handle all of this. What I do want to do though, let's get a spoon. Marcellus, you're late, it's okay, you can watch the replay. We're glad to have you here anyway. And I think you started following me on Instagram or something or whatever. Your name popped up, I think. Welcome, I'm glad you're following. I do have an Instagram and Twitter and a newsletter. And I'm working on a brand new website. So the one you see now is good, but the one you will see in, who knows, a day or two will be great. Actually, I think my wife's helped me out with it, so. Isn't that right, wife? I'm sure she said yes. All right, just gonna get a little bit of dressing on the bottom. Let's get some around the sides too. This will help me get more dressing over all of the leaves. I want to make sure it's on every single one of them, because if I just put the leaves in and dump the dressing on, it just sits on top. So, oh, thanks, Lauren Lane Author, for your help. That's so nice. Noelle, it's okay that you're late. Good to have you. So this is just, we're going, what did the store have? Mesclun salad. It's just kind of a mixed green salad. So we'll get enough for 2 peeps here. Let's do a little bit more. Good. Yep, lettuce falling in there. We don't want that. Okay, that's probably, let's get a little bit more just in case. Good call, Craig. Thanks. I'm going to use that excuse just in case. So only if I leave the house will I wash my hands. Because they're cracking like crazy, man. I've never washed my hands before this whole thing. It's getting rough. Okay, I'm just going to mix it with my hands here because I think it's a little bit easier to do than spoon and fork or spatula or whatever. And plus it allows me to get all up in there and make sure that, you know, every bite has a decent amount, you know, a little bit. That's pretty good. Okay. And plus, I can plate it a little bit better here. I'm going to create a little nest for that salmon. Perfect. Okay. Just a quick wash or do here. A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V. Yeah, happy birthday. I don't know. I lost count. Okay, good. We've got that. Let's get a little. Oh, we do have some salt in there, so we don't need more. Now we're just waiting on this to finish. I am going to check the skin real fast. I want to make sure that's nice and crispy. Oh, it's absolutely perfect. Okay. So, option A is to continue letting these ride for a few more minutes just to kind of cook up a little bit. But option B, since I want to keep this a little bit tighter, is just to flip them over for maybe a minute, maybe 2, just to kiss the tops and help a little bit of the heat come up and finish that off. So it'll be crispy on the bottom, done, 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 less done, rare, and then a little bit done. There we go. Can you see that? Doesn't that look at that. Isn't that sexy? Oh man. Yeah. There we go. Right there. Is it too dark? Let's get out of that. Oh yeah. Oh, we're getting some. That's right. Cool. This is almost done. Isn't it nice, Marcellus? Yeah. Dude, check that out. That's some nice crispy skin. We get some maldon on top of that when we serve it. It's gonna be perfect. Oh, good. Marinating fish. You know what, Jay? I think, so I don't marinate fish that often. I think you could, and I know some people do. I don't know if it's worth the effort for me. So I never do it. I usually just kind of salt it right before I cook it. I don't want that salt messing with the texture of the flesh of the fish since it's so delicate. If it's beef or whatever, salt the heck out of it, let it sit, you know, uncovered in the fridge for a day. But with fish, I kind of like fish the way it is. So I never marinate it unless I'm doing like a ceviche, in which case you're done. Like it's the marinade and then that's it. So that's it. I don't know if that answered your question. I'm sure it's fine. I don't do it that often though. I mean, I know marinated fish is fine, but. Okay. The fish is fishy. Cool. James Chen asking what we're cooking today. So, drinking wise, I've got Gavi in the glass, which is going to go great with what we're cooking. We've got a salad here with house-made vinaigrette, which we made live, and then just regular Atlantic salmon that I've crisped up from the bottom, and then I just kissed it on the top for maybe 2 minutes, which we're done. We're done. I forgot to get hold on. I was so excited to start to say hello to you guys that I forgot. You know what? Let's just use a plate. Keep it simple. So I've got a plate. I'm just to get a little bit of the residual oil off. I just want to make sure it's not, super oily when it gets on the plate. There we go. By the way, this skin, super crispy. That is going to be awesome. Okay, that is de-oilified for the most part. Perfect. Okay, done and done. It bothers me a little bit that I plated them. You know what? Perfect. Okay, all good, all clean. Let's get a little Malden sea salt here. Oh man. Yes. Okay. So. Oh, good call, Jay. Okay, let's see. Can we hear the sound of the skin? Kind of. I don't know if you can hear that. If I had a little mic, maybe like an overhead mic, oh, that'd be so perfect. Look at that. We got a little bubble of skin though here, like it's super crispy. You can, oh, do you hear that? Maybe? Okay, I'm trying now. But that little bubble, you can hear it, it totally crisped up. Let me cut into this. I actually have a fear that I may have overcooked it from what my intention was, because I got talking again. What's new? Let's try this out. Okay, so this is overdone from what I wanted, but it's actually going to be, I think it'll be perfect. Like it's not the exact preparation I was going for, but look at that. It's so well done. Like, I mean, not well done. It's done well. I'll put it that way. Very moist. Let's get in there. Hold on. Oh, can you see it? Okay, hold on. Let's make sure. No, you can't. Let's get up here. And let's do this. So, it'll flake off just perfectly. That's what I want. I don't want it to be really dry. Oh, come on. That acidity and the salad dressing or the vinaigrette is so perfect. Cuts right through the fatty salmon. Mmm. Can you hear that skin crackle? It's so good. Oh, man. Okay, that salmon is pretty darn good. Lauren Honey, dearest lover, would you like your salmon that I made for you? I'm gonna actually put just a little bit more salt because I like when you kind of cut in, there's like that Malden, that crunchy salt flake with the crunchy skin on there. Oh, God. And look, this took us a lot less than I hoped. We're 48 minutes in. A lot of it was just me running my mouth, but you could do this for lunch or like a really easy dinner. I mean, we're all quarantining here, so it's like we got a bunch of time. You can take a conference call while you do this. I do need little text bubbles. Great idea, Becca. Just like a little pop-up. Bloop, bloop, bloop. It's amazing. Bloop, bloop, bloop. I burned the roof of my mouth off. Yeah, this is perfect. Okay. I think we're gonna cut this now because I gotta get this to my wife. I'm gonna eat this. I can't focus on you guys anymore. My dog is already licking her chops. She wants a little bit as well. Yeah, thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video, subscribe to this channel, and we'll keep this thing going. I'm gonna do this again tomorrow. I'll set the little thing up shortly. You can click on it and set yourself a reminder if you want. You can, if you're self-quarantining with anybody else, make sure your roommates know about it. Excuse me. And yeah, we'll keep cooking. If you have suggestions too, let me know. What do you want me to cook? Tell me what's in your pantry. Like, do you not want to go outside? I have saltines and peanut butter and, I don't know, anchovies. What am I going to make? Don't tell me that, because that would be very difficult, but we'll figure something out. You know what I mean? Okay. Thanks so much for joining. I'll post this recipe on my website probably tomorrow, and again on this YouTube link. Yeah, this is so much fun. I really enjoy this. So, thanks, guys. Stay healthy. Don't die from the Rona, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye. I have a huge piece of salmon in my face, by the way. I'm trying to cover up. Couldn't do it. Okay, later, guys. Take care. We'll see you tomorrow. How do I end it? Boom. What?